Good afternoon, you lovely lot. It's lovely to have your company here on this Friday afternoon here in the UK. Of course, we're going to be nighttime in some parts of the world, and we're going to be early mornings in other parts as well across the pond. But wherever you are, it's lovely to have you for a full 2 hours of Colour Me Happy. I know this is one of your most favourite shows when it comes to Crafters TV. I know you love all of them, but I know that many of you love the Colour Me Happy and you love the craft alongs. Well, here we are, 2 hours of when it comes to Colour Me Happy. Now, what I do want to let you know first and foremost, if you did not see Wake Up Call earlier on, we've got a couple of good things coming your way, well, all weekend, certainly, and that is double points. So double points is running all weekend. So it started this morning, here, Friday, and then it's going to end midnight your time across the globe. So whatever you purchase, whether, of course, it is just a tacky glue bottle or whether you're going to go for Gemini machine, whatever it is, you're going to be getting your double points on that. So it may be enough just to take you over that next threshold. Maybe you are going to then just catapult you up to platinum or maybe one of the other tiers, but you've got that benefit. It is today, it is tomorrow, and it is Sunday as well. So take advantage of that when there's anything that you want, or it's also a good time to stock up on essentials. Maybe you're like, do you know what, Craig, you know, I've got many of the items on Colour Me Happy. I've had a look on the website, see what's coming up over the weekend. I've got a lot of those items, but do you know what? Let's stock up on essentials. Take advantage of that double points. You can absolutely do that. The other thing as well, sweet surprises that we have running at the moment, and we've had something different each day. Well, today is 15% off your crafty essentials. Now, if you go across onto the website, crafterscompanion.co.uk.com.au, you're going to find that sweet surprises. It's a great big box that appears on our website. You can't miss it. It says 15% off crafty essentials. Click on that and then you've got your different sections you can go into. All that I need you to do is when you get to checkout in that promo code, you need to put craft ESS15. So it's all capitals, so it's craft ESS15, and that is then going to activate that 15% extra discount when it comes to your crafty essentials. Just two of the items that are there is your stamp cleaner as well as your glass mat as well. So consider that. Definitely, these two are definitely really, really good for shows such as, of course, Colour Me Happy. So yes, that's all across on the website. Yesterday, we had our sweet surprises, which was all about the golden ticket. So later on, when it comes to Craft Vault, myself and Debbie, we will announce 5 lucky winners who will have won their order that they'll have placed from yesterday. So stay tuned within Craft Vault. That's going to be 6 o'clock here in the UK, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time, and we will do that as well as opening up that vault. And that vault is completely different from what we had yesterday. Some new items, and we may sneak in a couple of Colour and Essential vault items within this show. Now, that being said, we've now got Rachel on the social. Any questions, any comments, send them through. Diane's in, Carletta's in, Polly's in from Florida, Thea's in, Christine's in, Jill's in, Lynn's in as well. You're all here, you're all in because you want to see the lady herself, the one that done incredible techniques within Wake Up Call, and that was only the taster. That was just starting off the day when it comes to Crafters TV. She's back now for the full 2 hours, and it's Debbie.
And I need them. I need the 2 hours.
You need the two.
I definitely do. I could have just focused on 2 hours just alone on the pens in that wake-up call. And yes, for those who did miss, don't worry, because I'm going to cover all of those points that I mentioned in the wake-up call and some extras as well, and talk about why these fabulous Aqua pens and our tricolours as well, why they are one of the most easiest pens to colour with. They're water-based, so water-soluble, which means that there's a lot of things you can do with them in terms of some different techniques that you wouldn't be able to necessarily get away with when you are doing things like your alcohol colouring. So it's going to be a good 2 hours. I will tell you, it's probably going to be more tips and demos as in terms of techniques rather than full-on demos. I'll show you some finished samples, and I'll try and get 1 or 2 finished, but whenever I do a Colour Me Happy, I don't know what the other guys do, but whenever I do one, I always talk to the producer and say, could I just do this? Because I want you to see why I love them, why I'm passionate about them, and also how versatile they are. So it's not necessarily about giving you a finished card. I don't, you know, we do that every day of the week, 7 days a week. What I want you to do is take the most from this show. I want you to ask the questions that you probably have been maybe too, not afraid, but maybe not wanted to ask. If you think there's anything that might have already been asked, but you're too scared to ask, don't ask. Any question you want covering in terms of our aqua markers or anything you want answering whilst we're here, whilst we're going to do this 2 hours. And it is going to be a little bit more educational rather than demo heavy. I would rather do that and you get the best out of your pens and the different things. I am going to be stamping, I am going to be colouring, but I'm just going to show you lots of different things that you can do with these pens, which is why I personally love aqua markers. I was the person that used to think, I can't. I can't. I don't want to. I don't want to go into that world. I just don't think I can do it because watercolour always used to frighten me. What we're doing is we're giving you watercolour effects in a marker. That's exactly what we're doing. We're not talking watercolours with your little, your little paints and your sketch. We're talking watercolours in the form of a pen that make all those watercolour effects achievable for you as a crafter, whether you're just starting out on this journey or whether you've been doing it for a long time, because I know there's people out there on all different stages of that journey, including, because obviously you've had the Academy of Colour where Leanne's taking you on that lovely journey. So we're going to do some nice techniques, ask those questions to our lovely superstar social media, whatever her name is now. Rachel?
Rachel.
I didn't mean not what her name is,
Rachel.
but what do we call them? Superstar social... What do we call them?
I don't know. I think is it social media superstars.
It's something like that, isn't
something
it?
Like that.
That's what I know. Well, Rachel, Susie, everybody who joins us on there, they all are superstars in my eyes.
Indeed.
It's not that I forgot you, Rachel, because I know exactly who you are. Just fire away those questions. Rachel will pass them through to Craig. Craig will then pass them through to myself. And if I can't answer them, and Craig might be able to answer them. We've got two experts for the price of one.
Well, that's very true. Very true. Very true. Yeah, when there's two of us. Yep. Absolutely. But yeah, we'll fire them across to Debbie because she's going to be showing you all these incredible techniques. And in actual fact, as I would say, and I would agree with Debbie as well, is I think Colour Me Happy is one of those shows that's perfect for technique bases, isn't it? For sure. So, yes, Debbie was saying it's Rachel that's on. So any questions of that, do send them across Facebook, YouTube, and then we'll ask Debbie. But we are going to be having a look at our Aqua starter kit. Now within this one, you're going to be getting your waterproof ink pad. You're going to be getting your 15 markers. Now, that is 12 of your Aqua pens, and it's also 3 of your tricolour Aqua pens that you're going to be getting. So your 12 Aqua pens and then 3 of your tricolour, although essentially it's 9 colours that you're getting. You're also going to be getting that beautiful stamp as well, and you're also going to be getting a full pack of your watercolour cardstock as well. All of that is what you're going to be getting for £35 or $45. Now, when it comes to the stamp itself, it's the Natural Beauty stamp that you're going to be getting here. And we touched upon this within Wake Up Call because, as both Debbie and myself were saying, we and you at home will have seen this range of stamp featured a lot when it comes to alcohol-based items or alcohol-based shows. But of course, you can use all stamps, every single stamp for alcohol or water-based. So it's lovely to have seen what Debbie done just towards that very end of Wake Up Call when it comes to this Natural Beauty, because you've got your watercolour card, you've got your waterproof ink pad, so of course you can watercolour with them. So you've got your stamp. Then what you're also going to be getting is your essentials. So that's your aqua markers. So you are getting the 12, but when it comes to, of course, your water-based, then that just means you've essentially got an infinity amount of shades because you're pulling that colour out and getting lighter and lighter and lighter. Of course, you can still add on and build up that depth of colour, but then you can mix the colours. You can mix and you can blend your own colours if you want, which is giving you even more. Draw that colour out, you're going to get an infinity amount of shades. So you can see where you're going to be able to go down that road of the water-based colouring. But then last but by no means least, what you're also going to be getting is a pack of your tricolour aqua pens. Now these ones here is your colour basics. You are going to be getting your warm primaries, cool primaries and your complementaries. So yes, it's the 3 pens, but it's 9 colours in total. Within each pen, you've got the 3 colours that complement each other. But then, as I explained when it comes to the aqua markers as well, infinity of blends and shades because it is the water base. So that's what you're going to get when it comes to your Tricolour Aqua markers. Incredible deal. Whether it is one that you maybe have focused on alcohol colouring in the past and you're then just starting to venture into that water-based technique form of colouring, that's great. Maybe you're just wanting a little top-up of essentials, then that's great as well. Maybe you have come from the Academy of Colour in Leanne and maybe you've followed along with what she taught you when it comes to the aqua basis side. Start to bring in what you've known and learn from the Academy of Colour in with these. It could be gifts, you could be splitting them up, could be going into craft crop, whatever it is, you've got an exceptional deal with this full one here, £35 or $45. I'm just going to check on my notes here because when it comes to the actual aqua pens, they are worth $22.99 or $32.99. So you've got that really, really good saving when it comes to that as a combined element. All of that, so much more on the website, crafterscompanion.co.uk.com.au. Go into Shop the Day, that's where you're going to find everything. You can do Shop the Show as well, that'll shop what's in this show. If you're going to Shop the Day, that's going to give you a perfect look as to everything. And I say everything because there's things that even myself and Debbie aren't able to get through because of time restraints. Now, I'm not going to hold up any more time. Once again, I just want to reiterate, any questions, any comments, fire them across. But in the meantime, Debbie, it's over to you.
Lovely. So we'll get started with, and we'll talk about those pens. I'll talk about the pens because you've got two different types of pens that are in the starter kit. And I'll talk about the right ink, the right paper. We did mention that this morning, and I did do a demo to show you why we've chosen the right ink in there. And I think I might repeat that for those people that didn't see it because it's always a good visual. I'm always a visual learner. I like to watch something as well as hear it. I like to see it as well at the same time. It's just one or the other is not enough for me. I have to have both together. So in terms of the pens themselves, we have got an aqua marker, which is in this form of a pen. So it's the one colour in a pen that is dual tipped, and if I open up the top straight away you'll see that you have got, and it's clearly on the barrel as well, where you have the very fine nib and then this beautiful brush nib as well. Now these are a one colour, so it's this one is the orange that's in one of the colours. I think it might be the floral, I'm not sure which, I think it's the florals that this is one is in. Dual tipped aspect in terms of, and I'm just going to move that to one side, you've got this very, 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 very fine nib, which means you can do writing with it if you wish to do so, add the finer detail if you wish to do so, because this is still a water-based marker. And then you have as well the brush nib. So straight away between the two, you can see that difference. Very fine, very thin, very fine and thin, very thick and chunky. That's the word I'm looking for. But they are water-based pens. Now, I'll come to this in a second because you are getting some tri-aquas, tricolour aquas in your starter kit as well. But we do have these available on the website as well. So you can look. They do come in two different colours as well. Are you all right over there, Craig?
Yeah, I was just one of totally Tiffany's bags was just hanging over the edge underneath here. My foot caught it.
Bless your heart. Now, we're going to talk about brushes. We talked about these this morning. Now, in between the break, our lovely producer, Nicola, talked to our guys in the office and said, can we have the brushes on the show, please? Because I will talk about why I personally use our Royal and Langnickel paintbrushes. They are a crafter's choice, that's what they're called, the crafter's choice brushes. Yeah. Because we really do love working with them. They are a fantastic brush company. You're going to check them out. I said brush company, they do all sorts of things. But Royal and Langnickel, they literally are the masters of their game in terms of how they put these together. And when I say that, we were talking this earlier, weren't we, Craig?
We were, weren't we?
When you use a brush, do you ever get the left behind little feather off the brush? I said the feather, the little fibres of the brush, where they get, and then you're having to flick it off because it's left behind. Like when you paint your
bathroom or a wall or something like that with a, with a cheap paintbrush.
With a cheap paintbrush,
yeah.
You can be promised that they're not expensive brushes by any long shot. They're not your cheapest chips ones where you can get 5 or 10 for £1 in pound shop. You don't want those because they're the ones that are going to spread. These stay put. They have been engineered to stay inside there, so no bristles come out. And we have got them because our lovely producer Nicola has spoke to the guys and we've got them on the show.
We
Nicola?
have. Yeah? We have indeed.
Fabulous. And I like to have a choice because there are different sizes of brushes, and I'm just going to bring in the ones that you can see visibly. I think that's it for this what I've got here. Now, don't worry about this stainage. My brushes are well loved. I've used them for years. In terms of, I've used them for aqua inks, for aqua markers, for glitter pens. Do you know how glitter inks?
Oh wow, glitter
Yep,
pens.
so they've had all
okay.
sorts. They have got some stainage on them, but you have different sizes, and it'll tell you on the brush. That's a 3/4 inch brush. That's an 1/2 inch brush. That one is a number 8. I will tell you as well, because it is new, and I've deliberately bought this time, because if you saw this morning's show, you'll see when I tried to paint with it. I forgot that the end was sealed, because they do come like this, where they're a little bit stiff.
Yeah.
So you give it that little flick, and it releases that, almost like you said, an adhesive, a transport adhesive.
It's like that,
something
isn't it?
like that.
Do you know what it is as well? And I know this is very, like, you know, unimportant, Debbie, but it's a nice feeling when you just feel that little bristle,
That little
just
bristle,
start to break
and you just
away.
give it a little flick. It's a little flick with your finger, and it releases that, and then that brush is ready to use. So I just wanted to talk about that. And also a paintbrush, because there are many ways that you can use these pens, including the Aquas, which we'll talk about in a second. So in terms of your brushes, get yourself a good set, 3 or 4 different sizes. They all do a different job. I'm going to use this one for now. I'm going to come to use this for painting, because this one I just want to show you, and this one I'm using is the 1/2 inch one, producer Nicola. 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. Yes, I'm going to bring in some water. I've actually got the same water from this morning. It's got a tinge of pink in there, because we're doing a bit of pink. I'm not going to drink it. No, I'm not going to drink it. I'm just going to put it there, because what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how you can go directly onto your cardstock. This is premium watercolour cardstock. The GSM, Craig, is it too?
So when it comes to the actual
Thank you, because I forgot the GSM of the watercolour.
It's 300 GSM.
It is 300, so it is a construction. So you could use this for construction as well. So you
And
can
I
directly
like it for just mats and layers.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to be able to create backgrounds, paint directly onto it, and things like that. But I'm going to show you, you can use this straight on with a water brush, but you need to make sure you're prepped. And I say prepped, you need it to be damp. So you're going to dip it into the water, and you're going to take your brush, exactly producer Nicola said to me, not your pen. You do not take this.
Not at all.
Do not dunk it in there, because if you do, and I'll show you, I'll repeat that one this morning, because I first did that, and I've got a very uneven brush now. I can still work it on here. I wouldn't be able to take it onto here. But you've got choices, directly onto your cardstock, directly onto your glass mat or craft mat. However, prep is the key. And also, Debbie, you didn't clean your brush, you dirty devil. So in between the show, that's what I need to do. So although it stained it, you can see now it's gone clear. So you want a damp brush, not saturated. You're not going to go on saturated. So if I just bring that there, you don't want it where it's dripping loads. You want it to be a damp brush. And it's about getting it ready. So a couple of little dabs onto there, you're good to go. And then you're going to bring in your pen, and we're going to go direct to the cardstock. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to pop a little bit down, and while it's wet, I've got the ability then to take this pen and emulsify. That's the word. Emulsify, and get that lovely watercolour effect. And you can see going from that dark, literally, that's the colour we started with. And these are the colours that you can then, and like I said, you can move it. But what I said earlier on, which is true, if it dries, you know, it's been on there a while, to try and move it afterwards can be a tad tricky.
Okay.
So that is when you put it on directly, and we'll let that dry. You can always force drying, and we do have now our very own craft tool, our heat gun. And you can force this to dry quicker. And in terms of when it is slightly damp, that's exactly what you can do. But it's the right colour cardstock for the right medium, and I'll explain a little bit more as we go on during the show. Now, the other option that you have in terms of your pen, that's direct to the cardstock. Remember, this is a porous surface which soaks in, which is why our watercolour cardstock as well is very different from our stamping card. I'm calling it by its old name, Craig. Multi-purpose cardstock.
Multi-purpose.
Multi-purpose cardstock. It's got a texture. It's almost like well, it's not super smooth. It's got like, you'll know when you get it home. I don't know if the camera picks it up very well there, but it's got like this texture to it. So a little bit, what's the word? I mean, porous being one of the words that I'm looking for, but a texture to it. So a grain, that's the word I'm looking for, a grain to it. Now you can see this is already drying very quickly. It's practically touch dry. If I try now and go back in with my damp brush where this is now dried, it can be a little tricky to manoeuvre, we can get a result. But that's why we're saying about going onto your porous cardstock, you need to move quickly with it.
You've really seen the difference there,
Yeah, and
Debbie,
that
from
hasn't
it drying
moved as
in.
well. So I have got a little bit, I mean, if I just go back in again, but I've got a little bit of movement with it, but not as much as I had with this. So that was when it was wet. So if you're letting it dry, it can be a bit trickier to move. And a prime example there is if I go over those two pieces, I've got a little bit of movement, but not a lot. So that's one thing to remember when you're going direct to your cardstock, which is why you will see a lot of us, and I'll just turn that over there for a second, use our glass mat as a palette. Now I did mention earlier on, and I think I do have some down here because I'm going to show you with our acetate.
Right.
So you don't necessarily have to make your glass mat the palette.
Okay.
You can go on with some acetate. Now this has got the coating on, so I've not took it off. However, it'll be fine. But you can use the acetate as a little bit of a palette. So, and do you know where we talked about that squeaky sound that
Yes.
you hear onto your glass mat? That's because it's glass. This is like it's an acetate
Yeah.
to it. And nothing.
What difference?
A very, very tiny little bit. Whereas when you go onto your glass, I think you can... Oh, man, just saying that. I think the only noise there was that.
I think it was your bracelet. I think it was,
But
yeah.
you can go onto your glass mat. You can also go onto your acetate. And again, you can activate it. And I always have my piece there just to give it that little bit of a dab. Pick that up. And of course, then you can go on. And we'll talk about your colour washers and things like that in a second. But if that's in case you don't want to have... That is the acetate that it's resting on. So that can act as a little palette. But of course, you've got a fantastic palette straight away with your glass mat. Make use of your glass mat.
Yeah.
And again, I'm just going to bring that in and go on. And this is what I say about the moving there, moving fast and moving quick. I felt like there were a song in that then.
Well, do you know something?
know,
I was
in
just
my head
thinking
I
to
was
myself,
thinking there's a
I thought,
song
that's going
there.
into a song there.
But there you go. You can see you've got options. So you can go directly onto cardstock or you can use a palette and come in and use this to create that lovely wash. And it really is a lovely, simple wash. And I wanted to cover that point because when I did that demonstration earlier with the tricolours, I was asked about taking it directly on. We'll talk about that in a second. I'm going to repeat that for you so you can see it. But can you see the effect that you get? When we talk about that watercolour effect, we've taken that really deep colour. And again, if I just scribble that same colour on, we've taken it from the shade and we've used the water to give you that watercolour effect in this one pen. In the one pen alone. Now, the starter kit comes in lots of colours. You've got some fairly great colours in there to have a little play and a little mix around with your palette. For example, and I mentioned it earlier on, so I'm going to bring it back in. Nicola, don't judge.
Oh, here we go.
My poor little pen, because I did go like this. I'm not going to do it, but I did go
Straight in.
and I was like, what's gone off here? And then I looked at it and thinking, oh my goodness, it almost like made it bitty. Is that the right word?
Yeah, bitty, yeah, it's the right way.
Can you see? Frayed, that's a good word.
I say I like
you
bitty.
can see the fray in there, can't you? You like bitty?
I like bitty, yeah.
But yeah, doesn't that? So that is why you do not take that, you do not do that. You use this, this, or this as your palette to go straight in with. However, talking of the palette, should we go back on with that orange again?
Let's do that.
Let's do it. Let's go back in and show you, because I want to show you these fabulous pens. And even though it is a bit frayed, it's still workable. And I'm just dropping a little bit onto there. Now I'm going to come in with my paintbrush and we're going to add a little bit of the black into the orange and bring this in, and I've got like a different shade of the orange now, and I say the orange because that's the colour it is. I've gone with a bit more of a, what's the word? Dirty orange?
Dirty orange, yeah.
Shabby
Grungy
chic
orange.
Grungy orange. Yeah, we like the grungy orange. We like that word. We'll go with the grungy word. But yeah, you've got a little bit of a different tone, and you can always add to it. And it then means that you've got some options, especially if you've gone for the essential kit. So you can shabby chic things up. So you can really give it a really nice vintage tone. I'll come back in here so you can see it. So it's a bit of a mixture of the black with the orange to create this lovely different tone again straight away. But of course, the pens, and I'm just going to move that to one side for a second because that's my little practice sheet, so to speak. We will talk about waste as we go along as well. But yeah, you've got choices. So you can use a piece of acetate so that you can keep your craft matte clean. However, it is a water-based medium, and I promise you, you can wipe it up very easily, including on your acetate, so I could reuse that acetate again as that palette. However, just talking back for a second, let me just move that to one side. We're going to bring in a couple of colours. So let's bring in a little scrap again. We'll come in with this scrap. We're talking pens here, where you've got 12 pens in each set. But 12 colours does not equate to 12 pens, because this is why Aqua pens are so versatile, because you're going to create new colours with the colours, whatever colour pack you're going with. And I think we've got them all available on the website. Ready, Nick?
I think most of them are.
Yeah, most of them
are.
We've got the tricolours, all the tricolours. You've got a tricolour and Aqua pen set in your starter kit, the essentials, which is always a notoriously difficult to get hold of, because it's one of those sets that flies out flat every time we bring it. But yeah, in terms of mixing a colour palette, and we say infinitive because you can create different shades of different colours. So although I'm taking the pink and the blue, and I'm just going to show you for a second, and again I'm just going to use this side. I've got the pink, I've got the blue, and what I've got now is, I'll just leave those there just for a second, is I've got, let me come in with me little piece here again, just dab off my brush, let's give that a little clean. And I've got a little bit of a damp brush, so this is the pink. Beautiful.
It is beautiful.
This is the blue. Beautiful. And it is. They're both gorgeous. But then mix the two together.
Gosh,
and
like
we're creating...
the sea, isn't it? The sea meeting the sky at night time.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've created from those two colours, from the pink, the blue, in that centre, we've created a purple. And of course, different shades of purple will be depending on how you put your mixture together. So again, and if you've noticed, little tiny scribble, big pen, big barrel of ink, loads and loads of use out of this. But then, of course, if you start to mix it up, say if you take a bit more, let's go in with a bit more pink and a little bit of blue. I've created a different tone there of purple, almost like a lilac-y shade. So we talked about infinitive colours. Absolutely. Go back in, or bring in lots of blue into a little bit of pink, and you've got a darker shade of purple. So you've got lots of options. This is just 2 pens. 2 pens, Craig.
That's
two
it.
pens that have created this. I mean, this is honestly why these pens are absolutely fabulous. You can go directly onto there and mix them, but it's the same ethos that I talked about at the beginning. Porous surface. This is non-porous. Sits there wet. Doesn't move it. You know, it's not going to dry up or anything like that. If it does dry on your mat, you just reactivate it with your water brush. Take your water brush into it, reactivates it. No waste whatsoever. You can go directly on there with a damp brush, but you have to be quick. And I say quick. I don't mean it in a negative way. I'm just meaning if you want to bring the two together, you simply just get your brush into there. And I've still created a little bit of that purple there, but you can see the undertones running through there. So you have to move that around. However, I'm saying that, I'm going to let that dry naturally, Craig, and we'll come back to it.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll come back to that in a second. But that's the kind of thing that you can achieve. Now, you can already see what's happened here. Because I've split that pen, I spilt some water on that pen. However, I'm just going to bring in a piece of cardstock, and we'll talk about...
Sorry, no, I was just going to say, can you colour with these pens without doing any water technique? Can you purely just colour with the pens?
Yulia Sarah talk about this a lot. Charlie and Oliver have these pens.
Right,
rather than the alcohol marker, she gives them these. The tricolours, the aqua markers.
Right.
You can directly colour straight into any image and colour without adding any water.
Right.
And you get the full weight of the colour. So if I come in, so the 2 colours that I used were the blue and the pink. I think it was the pink, weren't it? Yeah, it were the pink. So let's go in there. So the 2 colours that I've got, you can definitely just go straight in, add no water, 2 beautiful colours that you can use. And that's where Sarah will talk about colours. The kids have these. They're a great pen. And I'll tell you why as well. It's water soluble.
That's true.
It comes out of the clothes. Alcohol ink, once it's in your clothing, it's staying in the clothing. It doesn't come out. Anywhere. So for Sarah, and I know why she's thinking this, thinking along the lines, she's a mum. She don't want to be replacing clothes every 2 minutes. She wants the kids to enjoy colouring. She wants to enjoy all the things and wants to save on those pennies. Get a set of these, give them to the kids. My grandkids have got these.
Have they?
Yes, because Tasha was always telling me, oh my God, they're getting all a uniform, Safi on a uniform, and I mean, my granddaughter, she's going to be a crafter, I swear. When she comes here from school, this is what she does. She just crafts away. But Tash were getting a bit het up about, oh my God, she's ruining her clothes, Mum, what can I do? So I got her a set, and I gave her a set, and they use these to colour with. They don't know they're a water-based marker.
No,
but they wash out the
you're
clothes.
right.
And she loves colouring with them. So yeah, they're absolutely. So that's why you'll see Sarah do that. So yes, brilliant question, Craig, because that is definitely what you can do with them. So you can already see with me a little bit of splash of water. So we're going to come in and I'm going to use the Tricolour Aquas. And just for a second to explain the Tricolour Aqua, it is the same as an aqua marker, but it's the form of a 3 pen. And if I just open that up, I don't want you confusing these with tri-blend brush or tri-blend pens. This isn't the same blue family altogether in the light, medium and the dark, although to look at it, it looks like that. You've got a set of tricolours that are, they work beautifully together in terms of, Leanne has thought about the colour wheel charts. We talk about the colour wheel chart and you talk about your warms and your cools and all those kind of things. What she's done is she's popped them into a pen. So it's still an aqua marker, but it's in the brush form and a different, if you look at it, it's a different brush nib. You've got a bit of a thicker brush nib to it. So it's got that beautiful brush nib and still the same qualities of an aqua marker because it's water soluble. So it means it emulsifies when you use the water. Best way to describe it. You can do exactly the same. You can go in. I love that sound. I do. And you can do, so that was the lighter one, weren't it? So this one is teal, aquamarine and lake blue. And I'm just going to pop those down because I am going to create a little bit of a background wash. Wait a minute, is that the same one as that one? Silly old me, Debbie. Silly old me. That one. Wait a minute. No, that's that one. That's that one. It is. I think I'm going daft.
Never doubt yourself, Debbie.
I know, honestly, but like I said to you, this is water-based. And if you think about this, the barrel, and I did say this earlier on, your barrel is, so this has got a lot of ink of the same colour in. This has had to be split into 3. So you've got one in this end, and don't forget you've got the space there. So it's the same equation of ink in each one of them. But you've got a lovely little place to start doing a little bit of a wash. This is when we talk about moving on to a different brush. So the ones that I used earlier, a little thinner one, this one's now the chunky one. This is the 3/4 inch one.
Okay.
Like I said, it is rather loved, Craig. And I'm just going to make sure, because Debbie's such a dirty devil.
Can I just quickly read this one out, Debbie?
You
because I know what you're like.
can.
I know you strive to make sure that, you know, people can follow along and understand what it is that you're saying. Ellen on Facebook saying, I'm going to use my aqua pens more often now. Now that I know how to use them, when they run out, I'll give them with the tri-blend pens. So I just want to read that one out, because there's a few people saying things along the lines there, just saying, within, yes, wake up call, but within Colour Me Happy here. We're only 33 minutes in. You're inspiring everyone to either get them out or give them the confidence.
This is an educational show, Craig.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily about all those demos. We love colouring. I could spend 2 hours. I could do 3 or 4 demos for you with stamped images colour. I will get to that. I promise I will get to that, and we'll do some of that for you. But I just want you to understand the pen and what it can do. And in terms of a lovely colour wash and why it's water-based, I'm going to come in now with a bit of a wetter brush. So not as damp, you know, I said damp. I'm going to come in and I'm going to create a little bit of a wash just by going and using this as a colour. And this is why I do like to do it onto this, Craig, and I know you said the same thing. This is a non-porous surface, this is a porous surface. You saw how sometimes it can be difficult, although I did say I'd come back to it.
Dead.
Very faint, you can see there, whereas with the others, you've got a lovely ability to get really creative and create some beautiful background washes and ombre effects as well. So let's come in with that next colour, and we're going to go in over the top, and blending wise, if I want to add some more into there, I can absolutely, it's like almost turning it into an ink, a liquid ink. Is that the best way to describe it?
Yeah, that's a really good way as well,
Yeah, good way of describing it. But you can see, and the reason why, again, why we choose the right, you know, the right colour cardstock does mean in terms of, and again, I'm just going to go back in and I'm going to blend those two together. Then I'm going to come in with that darker one. In fact, let me use the most of that ink up. Are you all right over there, Craig?
Yeah.
You're having a clumsy moment, aren't you, darling?
I'm trying. Do you know what it is as well? It's just to explain. As I did say it in Wake Up Call, within the sections like this that you're doing, Debbie, I'm purposely staying quiet because so many people are just lapping up everything that you're saying. But I thought what I would do, so that you can get a better view of the collection when you come back to me, I thought I'd have a little bit of a rejig. But this ink pad all day so far has been causing me issues by always falling over. So that's what that noise was.
Bless you. So again, I've just added a little bit more into there because absolutely you can. You can see that 3-colour tone though coming through there. And I've purposely chose the blue one because it gives a more softer ombre effect. If you want to add more to it, always make sure when you're popping your ink onto there that you're not going into that pool of water. So that's why I've just wiped that up for a second because I want to add a little bit more of the darker colour. I want to bring in my brush and I'm going to pick up a bit more because again, I want to show you that you can add. You can go back in and you can add to it as well. And then, of course, you can force dry that. So, again, let's give it a little force dry. And I'm just going to give it a little blast with our heat tool. So our heat tool is already available on the website.
It is indeed.
2 settings. I don't think it's out of stock just yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, it's one of our essential... Is this classed as an essential tool?
I was going to ask Nicola that. We're going to have a look.
Because to me, this is an essential tool.
I'd agree with you.
You have to have one of these in for all your inky backgrounds, all your liquid inks to dry off, all your mixed media types of things as well that you need to dry off, all your heat embossing techniques that you need to dry with as well. Oops, I forgot that's on 2 settings. Get me. But yes, so what you're going to do, and I will show you again, I've talked about the waste, I promise you I'll show you a little bit about the waste. I just wanted to dry that off. Premium colour watercolour cardstock means, do you know like in other cardstocks that you use, you would get a rippling? You
would.
You don't get it with watercolour cardstock. You might get a little bit of a curvature, but that is easy to straighten out by using your fingers, just to give that little straight. Now, if I was to use a different colour cardstock, you wouldn't get that effect. But you can see that lovely ombre of effect from that light mid to the darker tone in there. And then, of course, the beauty, which I keep failing to mention, and I'm not going to fail, I'm going to do it, because it is a water-based medium. And it means then that you can take things now. So I'll go back to my little thinner brush and I'm just going to do a few dabs just onto here to show you why it reacts with water. There we go. So let's go in and add that water, give it that little splash. And then you can leave it. The longer you leave it, it's the same when we use our water reactive ink pads. The longer you leave it, the more the water reacts to it and the more it soaks out the colour. I can already start to see, in terms of here, you can start to see this happening.
Magic.
The darker the colour, the more lift you will get as well, or the warmer the tone has a different effect. You want to add some more, absolutely add some more. I'm going to come in with my piece of clean tissue now because it's getting a little bit on the dirty side. However, that's still got a little bit of use left into it. But you can start to see, the longer I'm leaving it, the longer I'm talking to you, you can see that moving. And of course, when you pop the dry bit over the top, and just dab that off, all that excess water, when you lift off, you have the most beautiful background, that faux bleaching technique. I never ever tire of that technique. And that's achievable whether it be the one pen or whether it be the tricolour pen, so the tricolour Aqua. They're both Aqua, they're both water-based, water-soluble pens that you can do a lot of things with in terms of straight direct cardstock, colouring direct cardstock, using it to create and wash out, and then using it as a wash, using it to create colour palettes as well. Please excuse the scribbles, but again, it's just so you can see.
Debbie, yeah.
Yeah, and the one that I did this morning, the wake-up call, was a different colour pen, and that was the tricolour Aqua that I used, and I think it was the Contemporary. I think it's a contemporary one.
It looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, but it was a 3-tone colours in there. So you can achieve these looks. These are just beautiful backgrounds that you can use. But we will talk in depth more. Ask those questions that you want to ask. I've just literally given you a little bit of an half an hour 101 on what actually the Aqua pens are all about before we've even... And this is what I'm saying. Tip of the iceberg of what you can do, and then you can take it into all your stamped colour images, backgrounds, and I'm going to show you some more things as well. I'm going to show you why it's important to have the right ink pad too as well, as long as that, you know, with the cardstock. But again, I love making backgrounds. You can use things like your clear overlay pens, even though they're out of stock. I will show you that you can use these as well, because you might have these lying around at home, and you can be using these with your Aqua pens as well as your tricolour Aquas.
Awesome, right here. We will go back to Debbie very, very shortly. But let's just have a wee look, of course, when it comes to the Aqua Starter Kit here. Now, this one here, where you're going to be getting your ink pad, of course, so that is your waterproof. Not going to go into too much detail, because as Debbie said, she'll talk you through that one later on. But then what you're also going to get is your tricolour Aqua pens as well. 3 pens, but it is really, essentially, it's 9 colours that you're going to be getting. You're going to be getting your 12 Aqua pens. So your 12 Aqua pens there, as Debbie was explaining a moment ago. You've got that gorgeous Natural Beauty stamp. You've got a full pack of your watercolour cardstock as well. All of that you're going to be getting for £35 or $45. Alone, here in the UK, your Aqua pens, so these ones at the front, the 12 of them, they're $22.99 or $32.99. Look at that, today's price. Exceptional. Platinum, however, comes down to £28 or $36 for you guys stateside. So when it comes to those Aqua pens and the tricolour Aqua, that's giving you your 12, and then the 3 pens, that's what's giving you your 15 markers on the screen as well. Let's not forget, up until midnight on Sunday, wherever you are across the globe, you're going to be able to take advantage of double points when it comes to Club Inspire, which is an absolute win-win. Not only that, I feel I didn't do my job very well earlier on today, because it's been a bit of a busy morning. I didn't have a proper, thorough look when it come to the actual Sweet Surprises 15% off section on our website. Oh my gosh, there is so much, certainly when it comes to essentials. If you loved our Centura Pearl card blanks we had on yesterday, but you only want to go for them individually, they're there, giving you that 15% off. We've got some of the sprays, of course, sprays, predominantly here in the UK, just because of the way the freight and all that is across the pond. But you've got them, you've got foam pads, you've got glue gel, you've got cardstock, you've got tools in there, you've got Violet Studios in there. We have got, certainly here in the UK anyway, we've got a 12 pack of our tape runners that are part of that Craft Essentials. So you'll get your 15% on top of that, and you're still going to get your double points as well. So absolutely have a look across on the website for Sweet Surprises. There's at least, in that one section, there's at least 3 pages, but you've got other sections that you can go down. So loads and loads there for you to check out. What we're going to do as well, let's have a look at these paint brushes here before we take a little quick break. This is our Paint Tool 4-piece bundle. Now you've got your little mixing palette in here. Now maybe, you know, you're not going to use it for crafting, maybe you're just going to be using it for a little bowl or something. It could be a flower, of course, if you wanted to upcycle it in that way, or maybe you're having a little miniature tea party and you're going to put little treats in there in the middle, you know, just going a Lazy Susan or something like that. Could be an olive dish, yeah, it could be anything like that. But that's in there if you want to. George is going to put some sweets in his. But what you are going to get, and I think this is what everyone is really want to get their hands on, is the actual paint brushes. So you're getting all of these, that mixing palette, as well as the 3 brushes. So that's 4-piece bundle. $8.95 or $18.81. You've got a nice saving of 10% there, but that is a key essential tool that I would class as well when it comes to the actual way that you're going to colour in when it comes to your Aqua pens. They do have that one there. It is number 6, it is number 8, and it is number 3 as well when it comes to paint brushes. So you're getting all 4 of them within that fab bundle. Check out your baskets, of course. Don't forget to check out that Sweet Surprise. As I said, there is loads and loads and loads under that Sweet Surprise category where you can take advantage of that 15%. When it comes to checkout, all you need to do in that promo code is then just put in Craft ESS15. So all in capitals, Craft ESS15 in the promo code, and that's going to take that 15% off that selection of crafty essentials. Right, we're going to come back. We'll have a few reads of the comments when we come back before we jump back to Debbie. But if you are new to us and you're thinking, well, what's that platinum price? What's that double points? What does that all mean? Here's Sarah to tell you all about Club Inspire.
Welcome to Club Inspire. the Crafters Companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every pound, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
The one that was really funny, Ben. You did.
It was better than your I'm a gnome and I live in a caravan.
I am a gnome and I live in a caravan.
Can we clip that? Everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
You entertain us. You give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV. Create every day.
I have to tell you, every single person works tirelessly behind the scenes, and I can't just give a shout out to one person, because for me it has to be John, Tracy and Jake.
Going to give a shout out to our backstage hero, and I'm actually going to say heroes. It has got to be our product coordination team. It's got to be.
Because without those three people, when we're on air, we wouldn't be able to function like we do. They make sure we have everything we need, right from the samples to the product to having a drink of water throughout the show. They really look after us.
You see us day in, day out, 7 days a week, live on TV. We're crafting away. We're hopefully inspiring you. Every single card, every single product, every single tool that we touch has come from product coordination. Those guys are the unsung hero. They're there making sure we have the products, we have the inks, we have the tools, we have everything that we need. We have the power to actually work our Gemini ranges. The smooth running of behind the scenes of Crafters TV is all down to our product coordination team.
My name's Michelle and I am the newest craft expert. My crafting journey began just after I had my daughter Alice, so she's 14 now. Long story short, I suffered with postnatal depression. My husband sort of noticed, took me to the doctors, and of all things, the doctor suggested colouring. Said it's so mindful, really helps. So anyway, my husband had noticed that I discovered the craft channels. Went out one day, came home with an amazing little craft kit for me, and that is where my addiction began. But one of my main inspirations is actually going onto our pages on Facebook, Instagram, and seeing what everyone else is making with the same stuff that we're making. As cheesy as it's going to sound, Debbie Robinson, Debbie Fisher, those are two of the main people that I watched a lot of. They are all so inspirational. Okay, so I absolutely love everyone that I work with. I don't have a lot of juicy gossip that I can share, But I will say, Debbie Robinson is exactly what you see on screen. She is a laugh a minute. She is exactly what you see. So, you know, you think, oh, did they put it on for the camera? They don't. Debbie Robinson is definitely Debbie Robinson. And I love her. And she really does say all the time, what am I like? So other than crafting, I just love being at home with my family. I know that sounds cheesy, but my husband is the most amazing support for me. My kids are fantastically weird, odd, crazy, but perfect. But at the minute, I'm very focused on my health, so I'm exercising a lot. So I would say, other than craft, which takes up 23.5 hours a day, that my health and lifestyle, I think you would say. So I've had a few cards published in a couple of magazines as designer for the day. So that was sort of a really big deal for me. I loved it. And then I got accepted onto the Crafters Companion design team. Oh my God, the whole world could hear me scream with excitement. And then I got the call to come up and try out for this job. It is by far the most amazing, exciting thing I have ever done, and it's been life-changing.
Shadiah is on saying good morning. Craig and Fab Debbie, late, but I am here. Do not worry. It's lovely to see your name popping up. Kate McQueen on YouTube is saying, hello, crafty peeps. Debbie, Craig and Rachel. Very much looking forward to my craft along with Debbie tomorrow. But she's not going easy on me with the project. Ooh.
I might give you a sneak peek later.
Ooh, well.
I might give you, yeah, in fact, you know what? If Craft Vault,
let's do that.
Shall we show you what
Let's
we're going to be
do
making? Yeah, I'll show you. I'll get it out because I've got it with me. It's in the studio, so yes. It's a lot easier than it looks, just let me put it that way. I took some inspiration from a very well-known crafter and I absolutely love her to bits. Taken one of her fabulous cards and brought it into our Sent With Love collection. One of my favourite Sorry Stinge collections. So yeah, I'll give you, but honestly, it's not anywhere near as hard as it looks. I think you'll have a lovely time. So yes, stay tuned. 6 o'clock, we'll show you.
Excellent, don't miss. Should I say, love the Aqua pens, my go-to for my backgrounds? Or should I actually put me go-to for me backgrounds? Eleanor, so Eleanor was the one that I read out before, just saying about how you now know how to use them. Miriam saying, I love those tricolour aquas. Jill is saying, I have the tricolour aqua and the aqua pens. I love them. Pamela's saying, I love my aqua pens. I do a lot of watercolouring. They're so much easier and cleaner to use than traditional watercolour paint trays. That's a good point. It's a really good point. Jackie Cox is saying, thank you. Not had the confidence to use my tricolour pens. We'll give them a try now. Excellent. Jonelle Watson on Facebook is saying, going to have to play some more with my tricolour aquas. I know I'm the same now as well. I'm like, oh, I just want to start doing a little bit of watercolouring. Two very quick questions, Debbie. You Expressions by Candy on YouTube is saying, oh, right, so actually, well, that's one for me to think as well. How many total tri-blend aqua pens are there? Are all the colours available in larger sets?
I think this is it 14.
Tri-blend aqua, yes.
Tricolours.
Tricolour aqua pens.
Tricolour aquas, because I've got all of mine here. Let me just count them.
Is it 12, is it?
I think I've got one missing as well. So there's 1, 2, 3. I haven't got one missing at all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. 12 pens times 3. What does that mean in colours? Because that's mine how mine came. In fact, I'll pop that back in there because I have mine in my little case. If you caught the Craft Vault yesterday, back case.
36, is it? Yeah. 36
yeah, it's 36 colours. So that's all of the tri-colours in my bag. Look how I have to have them, Craig. I'm terrible. Honestly, it's not that I've got OCD. It's just that I like to be able to see what I've got, see the colours to hand in my handy case. So that's the full set. I carry mine around in my little handy case. We had it on for about £8 yesterday, I think it was, something like that. It comes with a little, it comes with as well, your tricolours, comes with a little introduction into the world. So we talk about, this is actually perfect actually, talking about why they've been configured and why they've been put in, about the temperature temperature, colour temperature. It sounds bizarre, but there's a reasoning behind it. And your secondary colours, your primary colours, how you can mix your colours to create lovely warm orange, cool green there, that warm, and it really is warm colours. The warm blue, cool red brings together. So a mixture of the cool and the warm brings together a different colour. And then your complementary colours, and then getting to know your markers about your premium water-based dye inks. And they are beautiful, vivid colours, regardless whether you've gone for this one, the tricolours, or whether you go for the Aqua pens. So yeah, absolutely fabulous. So that, I hope that answered that question.
It does indeed. And last one as well for now anyway. Marlene is saying, how long should you leave your page to dry before going back onto the cardstock?
Just a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Till it's touch dry. Till it's touch dry, then you can go back in. If you want to blend instantly, then straight away. But if you want to leave them where you can add the colour to it, some more colour to it, or pick in and put some more colour, just let it go touch dry. The thing is, with aqua markers, tricolour aquas, they're so forgiving.
They are, aren't
they are
they?
so easy to work with, to manoeuvre, to blend with. We are going to use some glycerin later on, little tub of glycerin, to show you how you can practically turn that pen into an ink pad beautifully as well. Although saying that, with the two that I've already created, you would think I've done that with an ink pad.
You would
But I
actually,
did it with a
yeah,
pen.
it's correct.
But they are really forgiving. And in terms of colouring, I'll show you some fabulous samples as well as we go along. But in terms of colouring, just so much you can do with them, and so easy to use. Don't be afraid. And if this is the start of your journey, Aqua colour pens, so our aquas and our tricolour aquas are probably going to be the best one for you to learn and to have a go at colouring in the start of your colouring journey, which is why that starter kit is just amazing. And again, we'll talk about that ink as we go along. We've still got, I can't believe we've nearly gone to an hour.
I know.
What the heck? I've barely touched anything yet. I've got a right long list down here, Craig.
Of
I've got my
everything
list
you want to do.
all written down there of all my little things that I want to cover in this show. But we have got all the other craft experts. Loads of Colour Me Happies online. They live forever on there. And again, we use them in shows when we're here or elsewhere. So you can, there's so much you can do with them. But they're fabulous and a great start. Well, the starter kit was a brilliant one. I've just seen what's on screen now. What have you got there, mister?
Yeah, so we're going to go over it. Just to say as well, when it comes to, of course, that sweet surprises, so the 15% off Crafty Essentials, that 3-pack of the watercolour card, that's in there as well. Or for whatever reason, if you only wanted one, that's in there as well. Nina cardstock is in there as well if you wanted to stock up. When it comes to that 3-pack there, you can get the 3-pack there for £9.50 or $13.50. You'll get your double points on that. However, it will be less than that because it's part of that Crafty Essentials on the website, so you'll get 15% off that price for your watercolour card. And then I said the Nina cardstock, because what I'm away to show you right now is your classic. So this is your single pen mystery collection. It's not really a way to be a mystery because I'm a way to show you what you're going to be getting, because you're actually also going to get, essentially it works out that you're going to get 4 classic pens for free, and I'll show you them ones as well. So you're going to be paying £16 or $20. You've got a saving of 30%, or it is going to come down to £12.80 or $16 for you guys stateside. And when it comes to the classic pens, you are going to get Prussian Blue. So you're going to be getting that one there. So that is TB7. You're also going to get your Green Grey 3, which is GG3. Now let's go that way, it's probably a bit better. I know it's not as clear to see, but at least I'm reading them out. You've got Caribbean AB3. You are also going to be getting your Bubblegum MG2. Do love a bit of Hubba Bubba. You get your True Black as well. You're also going to be getting your Sand EB1, and then you're also going to be getting your Dusty Purple DB3. So that's what it works out that you're going to be paying for, but what you're going to be getting at no additional cost is your Lime Green, so CG2. You're also going to be getting your Hot Pink BP6. You're also then going to be getting your Khaki at YG1. And then you're also going to be getting your Duck Egg AB1. So that's what you're going to be getting for free, essentially. So you're going to then be paying £16 or $20, or that's giving you a saving of 30%. I don't know why everyone is laughing, so I'm just going to ignore that. £12.80 or $16 for you guys stateside. crafterscompanion.co.uk.com.eu for you guys stateside as well, but it works out that you're getting those 4 for free. Anyone want to enlighten me what I said there?
It's just the way you say it, Craig. I've said this often before.
Okay.
I love how you talk. I love your accent. I could listen to your accent all day long. There was something you pronounced that made me and Nicola just crack up. Apologies, that's our childlike behaviour.
No, not at all. Not at all.
You won't
Not
believe
at
I'm 55. You won't believe I would have said mid-age, but I think I've gone past the point of mid-age now.
You're
haven't I?
mid-age. You're mid-age.
55. I can't even say
You
it.
can't even say it.
It won't come out because I'm not that age at all, because in my head I'm still 18. Hence why me and Nicola stuck, because she's the same as me, even though she's not the same age as me. Let's just. It's the way you said it. I'm sorry.
It's the way I said it.
I'm
right.
so sorry.
I know what one you're on about. I know
Childlike.
what one you mean. I know what one you mean. Yeah.
Cocky.
Khaki.
Cocky.
Khaki.
Khaki.
Yeah.
I love how you say it, khaki.
Khaki. Yeah. Yeah, it kind of also means something different in Scotland as well. Nothing like off the chain awful, but do you know what I mean? Oh, yeah. So yeah, that one's included anyway.
Oh dear.
Lovely to see so many names popping up, but what we'll do, Debbie, is because you said as well, you've got so much you want to show.
Yeah,
what we'll do is
yeah,
we'll
we've
just
got-
fire
yeah.
across.
Yeah, and we'll try and keep these nice, punchy and quick and show you what you can do. So in terms of your aqua markers, we talked about versatility, how you can use them. I'm going to show you a few more ways that you can use background colour in terms of your wet on wet technique. And actually, that's a little bit what I'm going to do here. So our Craig, in between the break, helped me out doing a little bit of heat embossing, because I forgot to prep this beforehand the show. So I'll just explain what I've done. I've taken one of our lovely stamps, and this was the stamp that I've used, the Have a Lovely Day. It is on Shop the Show. So this is a lovely stamp set. You can't see it at the moment because I have heat embossed it, and I'm not sure if you can catch that, but I've done it with white, because what I want to show you is, and I'm going to bring back in my paintbrushes, I'm going to bring back in my, I'm going to bring in the little one. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this and create some nice, and I'll go in with some nice florally colours. Let's go in with a bit of nature. Should we have a bit of nature? Yeah, and floral. So I'm going to bring in some of my colours. Now, all of our aqua pens are available, will be on the Shop the Show. So just go and have a little look across there at any of these. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to drop a little bit. So I want it to be a little bit wet inside my petals, because these are the things that you can do with it as well. So you can go in, and that's one of my petals, so I'll have a nice colour. Now again, you're not going to go in. You're not going to take it into there.
No.
Because what happens? You'll get a funny end.
You will,
you don't want a bobbly end. So I'm just going to come in, and again, I'm just going to pick up, and I'm just going to let that drop into there so that you can see how it can move around into there. That's already got some water, and it literally means that you can create, and it's almost like a bit of a resist technique.
It is, yeah.
And again, just drop that little bit. When I say a little bit, it was the teeny weeniest amount of a squiggle, the teeny weeniest amount onto there. And again, if I do that again, let's clean that. I'm just going to pop in. Now, let me just make sure, because I always have difficulty white on white, seeing white on white. However, I'm going to come in and go in. Now, producer Nicola, what was that question you just asked me? You probably
no, because you're not going to see the colour.
Yeah, so a great question though, Nick. You said onto black card. No, you wouldn't. No, but we are here to answer those questions. There are no daft questions, are they, Craig? Now, can you see how that's resistant again? So it's not actually sitting on top of the heat resistant. Is that the word I'm looking for? What is going off over there? Do you know, I can hear some giggling in my ear.
Well, no, I'm just taking the mick out of Nicola, because of course if you do any colour on the black card, you're not going to see it, are you?
No.
The heat embossing on the white, of course you would.
Yep.
But that colour, no, Nicola, you wouldn't see
And
it.
you can see it starting to drop in there. Now, I'm going to pop a little bit more down. I love it. But you can, absolutely. So it's like literally, you're taking it and you're just dropping it in there and letting it move around. So that's because inside each one of those little areas where it's been heat embossed, I've just dropped a bit of water. Now, I know that's a bit on the purple side, however.
That looks so cool, Debbie. I love that.
Honestly, so these are the kind of effects that you can go. If you want to add a bit more,
Imagine
just
if you'd done that
drop
on
some.
black card. That would look stunning.
He's a little wind-up. You can tell. He's been a little wind-up merchant now, he is. But he literally, the heat resist acts as a barrier to stop that from happening. But you can create some really lovely techniques. I think that might be a leaf, actually. So I'm going to stop there and come down. And I'm just bringing it down to that very end, going back in, and then just dropping the ink in. And doesn't it create a lovely effect? And I am taking the littlest bits and going in there to create something really quite pretty.
It's like you've gone into every single individual petal and gone in and blended that colour out.
And I haven't.
No,
as you've seen, this is why we talk about these pens being absolutely incredible pens. I'll pop a little bit of green down because I've seen there's a couple of leaves into there. Would help if I got the picture so I could know where everything is. But again, you're just going to do exactly the same. Just take that purple off. So just dab that down again. Go back in, drop the water inside the image, and don't be too skinny with water because you get a little bit of a different effect. But go back in and then just touch that in.
Wow.
And it's something I keep forgetting to do. Whenever I've done these shows, I keep thinking, why have I not shown that technique? So again, it's just a really lovely, easy technique to do. And of course, you can go back in. You know, if you want to add things, when it's dry, you can go back in and add. Or you can take it straight into there and paint directly, straight on. So I've not put any water in that one. I've just gone directly in and coloured it. And I think that might actually be a little leaf as well, isn't it? Is that the two leaf? Rose. Yeah, there. So you can see straight away the kind of effects that you can go on. Like I said, you can go back in, and that's got a bit of green on there, Debbie, because you didn't clean your brush, you dirty devil. But you can create some really lovely effects really quite easily just by dabbing in that area. And then dry that off. Let's give that a little blast. And again, it's just another quick, simple way of colouring. And if you want to add some more texture to it, you absolutely can do. So I'm just going to give that a little dry.
I don't think I've ever done this technique before. I've seen it, but I don't think I've ever done it, Debbie.
It's just a lovely, it's just a different way of doing it. And again, like I said, if you want to go back in, when it's dry, you can either go back in and directly apply your colours. So if I wanted to add a little bit more, I could go in. Don't forget you've got your fine tip applicator that you could go into as well. Debbie, that's the purple. What are you doing, girl? Sometimes I do wonder about myself, Craig. Quite a silly, I put purple right in my leaf, like a silly sausage. But do you know what? Might be able to get away with that. Yeah, I think I can get away with that. And then I can go back in. I'll get away with it.
You would, yeah.
Yeah, I'll get away with it. But again, you just go in, and that's when you can start to add a little bit more. So you can come back in and you can add a little bit of depth and dimension. But it's just a very quick technique showing you how you can achieve that look. And then use that to create a fussy cut out, and you've got yourself a lovely piece directly to go onto a cardstock. So that was another way of showing you. So stamp your image with clear embossing powder or our, what our Craig did for me, our pure white pigment ink, because it's I say a sticky ink, it doesn't dry quickly. It means you can add clear embossing powder, or in that case was white embossing powder.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Miriam's asking.
Yeah, it's the white embossing powder that I added to that. But that's just another quick, very, very quick way, and another lovely technique to create a little bit of, looks like I've been really clever with water and watercolour effects, but I haven't. It's this.
It's awesome.
It's these. They're the ones that do it. So that was another little technique. I'm going to show you some stamping next with this. Can I just have a couple of...
Well, yeah, what we'll do is I'll give you a couple of minutes. It won't be too long, because I know that obviously Debbie wants to show you so much. So as soon as Debbie's ready, she'll give me the nod and we can go back to her. What we'll do, so You Expressions by Kanye on YouTube. So I can answer this one, because actually Debbie covered it earlier on, saying once they're dry, will they wash out of clothes since they are watercolours? Now, as Debbie was saying earlier on, that's actually why Sarah gives them to the boys, because of course they are water-based, and so many parents out there have got Aqua pens, you know, maybe they use them because they're crafters and they give them to the kiddies. So yeah, absolutely. Alcohol-based pens, of course, then potentially get stained. That's why they don't use them. But yeah, your Aqua pens, you absolutely can do. So we have got our Aqua and Tricolour 48 marker selection, $76.25 or $104.75. When it comes to all of that, that is down at £61 here in the UK, or $83.80 for you guys stateside. So I'm just going to double check. So if I've got these ones here, so I'm going to go I'm going to take these ones, I think. So 12, so that's 24. And that, right, okie doke. So I think, right, we're cooking on gas. Right, when it comes to these ones here, so this is the ones I'm going to show you. Now, you'll have just seen there, keep in mind that the essential Aqua pens in this set are also the same ones that are in that starter kit. So just keep that one in mind. But when it comes to this one here, what you are also going to be getting as well, just want to check, I think, is it, Nicola, is it going to be the colour basics as well? Is that tricolour? It is. It's all of these. Perfect. Yeah. I'm not good at my maths, as you guys know, but I did think there. I think we're missing something. Right. So this is essential. Now imagine everything that Debbie's shown you so far within Wake Up Call, and then of course Colour Me Happy, but then really ramp it up with all the different colours, all the different blends that you can bring together. You've got your essentials. Now that is of course the one, as I say, that is in that Aqua starter set. So you've got the essentials. You've also got your primaries, and then you have also got your naturals as well. So that is your Aqua pen. So these are the ones, as Debbie explained, you've got your, obviously that flexible nib, but then you've got that fine point nib as well at the other end, your nib. So that's what you're getting there. You're also going to be getting from, of course, your tricolour Aqua pens. This one here you're getting is your grey outdoors. You're also going to get your colour basics. Now this is also the one that comes within that Aqua starter set as well. But what you're also going to get is essential neutrals, and then you're also going to be getting your floral meadow. Now, although in each of these you do have your 3 pens, but within each pen you're getting 3 colours, so therefore you're getting 9 colours within each set there, 9, 9, 18, so 36. Basically, it's 36 colours you're getting just in that alone. So all of that is what you're going to be getting for $76.25 or $104.75. You're actually saving 30%. When it comes to this one here. Even better though, when it comes to, of course, platinum, it's going to come down to £61 or $83.80. But up until midnight on Sunday, you're going to get your double points on that as well when it comes to Club Inspire. So keep that one there with the double points. So as I said a moment ago, taking what you've already seen and learnt from Debbie so far, or other past Crafters TV shows when we've featured these, maybe at the time you've thought, don't really fancy them, or I can't actually quite reach to them at the moment financially. Maybe now is today is that day that you're going to think, actually, I'm going to go for them. I'm going to take advantage, of course, of the double point. And if you are, what I would highly recommend, if you can't, is check out, of course, the actual 15% section across on our website, the Sweet Surprises, because watercolour cardstock, as well as so much more that will work with your Aqua pens, are going to, you're going to find them in that section there where you're going to get that 15% off. You just need to make sure that in the promo code you put your Craft ESS15 in the promo code. So Craft ESS15, and then you're going to be able to take advantage of that 15% off when it comes to that selection of crafty essentials. And then very, very quickly, let's show you this one, because this is another one that you will be using when it comes to stamping. This is your 6x6 stamping platform. It's also the stamping mat as well, which is your larger 12x12. All of that you're going to be getting £15.90 or $19.90. Got a saving of 20%. So something that you see day in, day out on Crafters TV. We use them at home as well when we are either crafting for ourselves or prepping. But it is going to come down more to £12.72 in the UK or $15.92. You are, of course, going to get your double points. It is your 6x6 stamping platform, but then it is also your 12x12 sponge mat. So that's your professional stamping mat. You're getting them both together when it comes to that 6x6 stamping platform and stamping mat collection. So there we go. And then what we've got as well is we've managed to get a hold of something that's getting very, very limited when it comes to something that Leanne had. So what we're going to do is we'll jump. Are we doing it now, Nicola, or when we come back from Debbie? Yeah, let's do that. So what we'll do, it's one of the bags that Leanne showed, but we'll go to Debbie first, because of course it's all about Colour Me Happy and the aquas and the colouring. And then what we'll do is we'll give you the opportunity to have a look in what was Leanne's bag, because that flower stamp that Debbie just used a moment ago is actually in that bag as well. So we'll have a look at that in a moment, Debbie.
Oh, I say, well, I'm using that one again,
Oh,
but
well,
the
there you
smaller
go.
one, because we're going to stamp with it. Because another thing that you forget about your Aqua pens, they're a fabulous pen to colour with. Whether you're colouring directly onto your cardstock or using it for the watercolour effects, which you will get with the water solubleness of that pen. But you can stamp with them. So we've created backgrounds, we've done a bit of colouring in terms of onto that image there that we just showed you with the stamping into a... Heat embossed, thank you. Just couldn't remember the name. So what we're going to do now is actually stamp with them. We're going to stamp directly. So you're going to take your colour. Now I've gone for some tri-colours and I'll go in with, let's go in with some warm colours. So what you're going to do is just pop your stamp on. I'm using my rocker block for this and I'm just going to take this over. I'll do it on a full colour. I'm using the side of the pen. I don't know if you've noticed, I'm not going on the top. I'm using the side of the pen over the top and colouring that stamp. Now,
Debbie, the
yes,
side compared to the tip.
Yeah, because you're covering, so you're not going to do any damage. Do you know when you try and do it on the top, to try and do that effect, you'll end up covering inside the recessed bits of the stamp.
Okay.
So just doing it onto the side gives you the ability to use and colour in all the way across. This is when you can do what we call that huffing little technique that you may have seen us do. A nice quick huff, and we're going to just directly stamp directly onto our cardstock so that you see straight away one rock. I've got this lovely effect, and then I've also got some more ink on there, what we'll come to in a second. But of course then you've got the ability now, and I'll use my pen, but you can come in now and you can start to move and colour and create a nice little bit of a different way of colouring. And I'm using the clear overlay pen with this, but you can still see you're getting a little bit of manoeuvrability. It's moving and stamping. And again, if I just go straight across and not worry about, I'll be able to shift that straight away and create this lovely, another little technique that you can do in terms of your colouring. And you can do that with any of the colours, and you don't necessarily have to do this either, where you drag this out, because what you can then do, and again, you've seen straight away, I could then go in and add a little bit more, so dry that off, got a lovely bit of sparkle technique, but it bleeds a little bit, and I want that effect. So again, if I come in and I just use this, pop a little bit more just over the top. Oh yes, she's reading my mind, producer Nicola, have you heard her? Yeah, absolutely, you can do. So again, just go in, rock, and you've got that lovely image. She said about multiple colours. Shall we show you? Shall we go in? I'll use that one. I'll use a bit of the blue. So I'll go in with a bit of the blue. Over the top of the pink, actually, we'll create a different colour. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's saying, what's blue and pink together? Yeah, Nick, yeah, that's the one. But again, going in, and you can create some really lovely effects. Whoa. And then because obviously it's still got a little bit manoeuvre, what you can do then is add your spritzers. So if you've got a spritzer, you can come in and use a spritzer technique. So you can spritz in and move. Whoa. Even though it's like, we talk about not being able to move it, you can. And so you can create some nice effects. And of course, if you don't want to do the huff, there's still a little bit of ink on there. Just spritz it. But can I just show you this way, if that's okay? Just do it, hold it back a little bit, like this. There, just a little spritz to reactivate that ink again, and then you can go on and create some really nice cool techniques as well, and you can get multiple stamps out of there, so we could create a nice little bit of a background, which I'm being a bit random there, but I just want to show you just how much you can get out of there. I know it's a bit messy, but you get the gist. And of course you just dry that off, so you've got options of stamping it and then colouring with it, and you've got options of getting it what I call the arty-farty look, or then you've got options of just directly colouring over the top and creating that lovely stamp technique. So that's another way of being able to use your, and this is the tricolour that I've used. Yeah. You can do that with your Aqua pen because you've got the brush nib on the other end. So you can do that as well. And that lovely technique, there's still ink on there. I could probably get another scrap of paper and still do that as well. So again, another lovely way of being able to use. And I'm trying to speed up my techniques because there's so many, there's still some more I want to show you. But isn't that lovely that you can achieve those kind of looks? Your butterfly stamp. stamps, your floral stamps, any of your stamps. You could stamp that lovely, I mean, I've got my cat here, and my original idea was I was going to stamp the cat and then draw out the colour to colour in with. But then I thought, oh no, let's show you what else you can do with it. So it is honestly absolutely fabulous. So you can do directly on with a colour and colour straight directly into your piece. With your, and I'll just grab my stamping mat again, just to show you what I mean. You simply take that, pop that into there. And I'm using, I've switched my platforms up, but only because this is a bigger surface area. So I want to make sure I'm not going to miss or mess it up. I'm going to come in, and I'm doing this because our lovely producer Nicola says it's her favourite stamp.
She loves this stamp. One.
And again, coming in, just colour it in.
What's new?
Over the top. So I'm going to put the cat, and I'm going to use the brown. Excuse me. And I'm going to use the, let's use the grey.
And that's it, because you're able to mix or blend the colours, if you've shown a moment ago, Debbie, then you can do that with the cat as well and get the different layers.
So again, I'm just using a different colour there. Sorry, I've got a bit of tickle there,
No,
Craig.
that's okay. That's okay.
Probably because I was gasping a little bit at the same time, because I always amaze myself every time I do this. But then go directly straight in. And then when you've done that and you've covered, and you don't need to do you know like we would do with a normal ink pad? If you've missed, it doesn't matter, you can go back in, but look at the lovely effect you get. And again, I've just missed the top of his ear, so we'll go back in. This is what I love about this stamping platform. We're all a lover of the stamping platform, but look how cool it looks. Then get your little brush, and again, just bring out, and talk about super speedy, quick colour.
Very speedy.
It is, honestly, instantly, so easy to achieve. Thank you, George.
And I'm pulling that colour out.
It's just pulling it. That's the thing. This is the beauty of our Aqua pens. You wouldn't get this with any other pen.
No, you wouldn't.
You can't do it with an alcohol marker. It's impossible. It's the nature of there. You just can't. And again, then I can come in with a little bit of a pink, and I can go and add that in if I want to add that in. Just popping that in, pick up, and then add another little colour into there. And then the same with the box. Again, we could just bring in a little bit of the colour. Or you can then take your colour. Let's just go in. Pop a little bit down, pick it up, and colour it in.
Going that way.
So you've got options.
Yeah, you've got the two, well,
Honestly,
not just two options.
So many different options of what you can do with these. But once you've got it and you've got these home, now I'm just speeding through this really, really fast, but you absolutely have got that option. And that's only because I want to add more things in to this show. Because again, you can see straight off, and I'm just doing a very, very quick technique. You've got your lovely cat coloured in. Depending on the look you're going, that's quite an aged, vintagey kind of sepia look. But that's the kind of thing you can do with these, and let them dry. Then, of course, you can add your background, you can do your masking techniques with them as well. Tons and tons of things you can do with these pens. They're a lot more versatile than any of their other colouring mediums, which is why I kicked myself for being so afraid of them when I first saw them in action, thinking, there's no way I could do these. And you know, when I just took that leap, and I remember as clear as day, I was in the shop, there was a Black Friday deal on, and I thought, I'm going to get them. And I bought them, and I played, and then ended up teaching classes with them because I loved them that much. I got addicted to using them because they are such a great pen. So easy to use. So many versatile ways. Whether you're going for the tricolour or whether you're going for the Aqua, they're basically the same. It's the same ink. It's the same water-based ink that's in there. It's just the form of are you going for a dual tipped marker of the same colour, or are you going for those that have already been brought together to work together really well. But they do the same thing. So really absolutely fabulous. I adore them. I'm hoping you're loving them as much. I'm hoping people who love them have taken a little bit more of a, because they probably, I know what you'll be like. You've probably had them, bought them, put them away.
Put them away somewhere,
and don't use them. I want you to get them back out. If you have got them, I want you to get them back out and play with them, because there's some amazing things that you can do.
There is,
and I've still got plenty of time to show you some more.
Perfect. Awesome. If you do want to go for the full set that Debbie was just using here, that is what is on your screen. So it's your 12 markers. Now, this one here, so you're going to get your 4 sets when it comes to the actual 4 of them, it works out that you are buying 3 and you're going to be getting 1 for free. Now you are going to be getting your complimentary. So this is the one that you're also going to get within that Aqua starter set. So just keep that one in mind. But yeah, you're also going to be getting your Floral Meadow, your Essential Neutrals, and also your Grey Outdoor. So it does work out that you're buying 3 and you're getting 1 for free. $29.87 or $44.85. Platinum's going to come down to $23.90 or $35.88. Plus, up till midnight your time on Sunday, you're going to get your double points as well. And when it comes to these ones, these are the ones that you're going to want to use your watercolour cardstock, which incidentally is in, of course, on that Sweet Surprises. So part of that Craft Essentials, if you want to get 15% off Crafty Essentials watercolour card is in there. You just need to put Craft ESS15 in the promo code to activate that 15% in that Crafty Essentials. Then I did say to you before what we've still got. I don't know why we've still got some left, but hey, we do. This one is Leanne's Spectacular Save-In Box that's in a bag. It is £40 or $50. If you are platinum, it's going to come down to £32 or $40. What you didn't get though, up until today, was double points. Whereas, if you didn't go for it before, while Leanne's been here, and you decide go for it today, then you're going to get your double points on this one. So very, very quickly, I'm going to go through these ones. One other bag to show you before we go straight back to Debbie. My favourite 12x12 pastel tone cardstock. 24 sheets, they're 12 by 12, 250 GSM. Now 12 of them are a linen and 12 of them are a pearl. So when it comes to the pink, for example, you've got your linen pink and you've got the actual pearl pink as well that's going to complement each other. Lilac, that very soft baby blue, as well as the baby yellow. You've then also got your actual blackboard stamps in here. So you've got that one. You're also going to be getting another 2 when it comes from the blackboard stamp collections. So you're getting that one, and then you're also going to be getting that one as well. So you're getting everything that I'm showing you. Look at that saving of £100, just over £100, £100.86 or $135.70. But you're going to get your frame dies as well. They cut in, they cut out. You've got your sentiment die as well, so your sentiment. So you could have birthday girl, birthday ball, etc., etc., etc. We've then got one of our ribbon threading dies, 2 dies there. You've got the actual ribbon threading die as well as the outline die. You've got one of your saying dies as well. Friends like you are far too few. You're also going to be getting your plant parent from our Gemini Mini range. Also going to be getting your Poinsettia Delight. So we've just popped a little bit of Christmas in there. So you've got your 8 stamps there. Think of the techniques that you could be doing after watching Debbie. And then you've got your Have a Lovely Day. So that's the stamp that Debbie's just been using this past wee while here live on Colour Me Happy. But we're not finished. We've got a 3-in-1 Create a Card die set. That's included. And then we've also got our Speech Bubble Jigsaw die set. That's included. You've also got your Amalfi nesting die as well. That's included. And then last but by no means least, a full set of your Essentials acrylic paint markers from Spectrum Noir. All of that is included. £40 or $50. You are saving £100 and 86 pence or $135.70. If you are platinum, however, that is going to come down to £32 or $40. And then as of today, right up until Sunday, and for this while stocks last, you're going to get your double points as well. So if you have purchased that one over the last couple of days, you wouldn't have got your double points on it. So if you've been humming and hawing, well, there's a little extra benefit as well by getting the double points on that one. And then this one, what you are going to be paying for is the Rocker Blocks. So you're going to be paying for the Rocker Blocks here. So Rocker Block with free mystery stamp bag. Now you've got your 6 different size Rocker Blocks in total. So everything I'm showing you, $19.98 or $27.98. So that is the price of the 2 sets of Rocker Blocks. Platinum comes down to $15.98 or $22.38. But then for free, what you're going to be getting is your Country Lane stamp set. You're also going to be getting your Belle Countryside stamp set. You're also going to be getting your Tumbling Waves and Floral stamp set. That'll complement the one that comes within that Aqua starter set. You've got Life is Tough when it comes to our blackboard stamps. You've also got Life is Too Important from the blackboard stamps. And then you're also going to be getting your Laughter is the Best, and also the blackboard stamp set there. All of that is what you're going to be getting for free. That one there, $15.98 platinum or $22.38 platinum on that today's price. So if you're not platinum, that today's price is still exceptional, $19.98 or $27.98. And also, just like the one before, if you have gone for it previously, still, although it's still an incredible deal, you wouldn't have got your double points. Whereas, of course, by getting it today, you will get your double points, which run all the way up till midnight your time across the globe. Right, we do have a couple of questions, but what I want to do is I want to fire straight across to Debbie so Debbie can get as much as she absolutely can do, and then before the end of Colour Me Happy, what we can then do is, actually tell you what we'll do, Nicola's just letting us know. Once Debbie's done her demonstration, we'll have a little bit of a break so you can check out if you need to. Then when we come back, I'll send the questions across to Debbie if that's okay.
And we'll try and squeeze a couple of more techniques in as
Perfect.
well, because I need that bit of break to go and try and find something. I've realised I've not got it with me. It's okay, don't worry, because I need to nip that way anyway. Now then, we're going to talk about a lovely little product that we're going to now turn and use our Aqua pens into lovely little background that you can do using some household glycerin.
Ooh.
It's something we don't do often, but it's nice to bring it back again. Now, I don't want you buying food glycerin. I don't want you going out and buying all that because it's expensive. They always add, put word food in front of it and they stack on £2 or £3 extra. Go out to your chemists, you'll buy a great big tub for about £1 something that you can decant it into little bottles. I haven't got my little bottle that I normally go, so I've had to make do with the fine tip applicator, because what we're going to do is we're going to pop a little bit of, and I mean a bit, I probably even put a little bit too much on there. But what I'm wanting to do is get these inks and create a little background really nice and easy. So again, I'm going to use I wanted to use a quite nice vivid colour. And I've gone with a purple as well. So I've gone like 2 shades of purple with this to create some really nice background. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our applicator and I'm going to pop it into the glycerin. What I want to do is work it into the pads. I don't want it to miss an area, but I want to just pop that in. Now, you can go a little bit too heavy-handed and put too much in, but what this enables me to do now it's got this glycerin onto the pad, it means I can pick up my ink and I can go directly onto there and move it. Now, can you see that that's dry? I could go in and add that little bit more. So if I just turn it this way and pop my glycerin onto that counter, because what I want to do is make sure I've got a nice coverage, give it a nice work in, and then bringing in the ink and coming in and moving that around. So that, oh God, that's really bright, isn't it, Craig?
Isn't it?
I didn't realise I brought that colourway. Which one's that? Red violet. Dear me, that is very, 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 very inky. So again, you can take it and then you can move it to create your backgrounds as well. So again, if I just come in, and I'm just hoping that this is the right glycerin that I've got here, because I don't use, do you know there's different types of glycerin? Glycerin is that lovely, and you'll feel it, you can feel it in the ink pad. It's got like they use it in hand creams.
They do, yeah.
Yeah, in hand creams. But I want it to be where I can manoeuvre, and I'm wondering if this is the right one. I'm going to check that glycerin bottle, because you get a better fluid movement in terms of popping it onto your cardstock and making that spread that little bit more, which this seems to be. Let me see if I can pop that in. Going in. There we go. A couple of the colours. But again, you can see you get that lovely smoothness going in. So again, you can achieve a different look. And I'm just going to check that one. Yeah, let's go back in. I'll bring in this one because I'm going to bring a different colour in. Let's just drop a little bit more. Again, you don't want it to be absolutely saturated with glycerin. If you have too much in there, and what you want to do is make sure you're getting that good coverage into that blending tool before you start with your ink. I think I've got a bit of dirty ink on there, but you get the gist. And then we're going to come in with, let's take a different colour that might be a little bit more, what's that one? Oh, definitely don't want the black, Craig.
No, not the black.
Oh, my goodness me.
Man.
I were like, what on earth? That's very black.
Yeah, just
no.
think of your
Want a bit of a
aqua
pink.
pens or your aqua tricolours now.
Tricolours, yeah, get your tricolours onto there. And then once that's nice and wet, and again, I'm just going to pop a little bit more on because I'm not sure that this is the right glycerin, but I will double check that. Let's get that in. Pick that up, and then you can come in and you can start to blend your two colours together. So again, straight onto there. And you can use watercolour cardstock, multi-purpose cardstock as well. And then taking that on, you're going to get this lovely effect where you can blend your colours together and turn it into ink pads. And then still do, and I'm just wondering, have I got the right ink? Yeah, I have. It's all right. You can get your effects and you can still do your things like your techniques that you would do.
Oh, can you still do that?
Oh, yeah. Even though it's got
brill.
glycerin in, yeah, absolutely. I've probably got too big a cardstock there, but you can see with the effect. Let that soak in as well, and then you've got this lovely, again, where you can do your 4 bleaching over the top and create that lovely effect as well. So you can turn your inks, you can blend your inks in as well, and I could carry on doing the whole of that. But you need to make sure you've got the right glycerin. And I am going to check, Craig, because it feels a little bit thicker
unsure,
than the normal glycerin that I use at home. Because I have, I go to the chemist, it's about £1. Here in the UK, it's about £1.80 a bottle, and I say a bottle, it's about this big. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
The food glycerin's slightly different.
Yeah,
and
definitely don't use that.
Definitely more. It's heavier and it's more expensive, and you don't want that.
No.
You want it to be able to just saturate your ink pad applicator, so it then turns it into a blendable way of being able to use it.
Yeah.
So that's just another way you can use them. Bit of glycerin onto your sponge, and then turn it into a lovely background piece. And again, could use that for me die cut elements now, and there's all sorts of things that you can do with your backgrounds. But I'm away to go and find my little secret ingredient that I need to create some more different backgrounds. And I'll talk about this waste that I've been leaving loads on my counter and what else you can do with it as well.
Perfect.
So I'm going to go and find it, Craig.
You do that. I'll read out a few comments just to say as well, that was your Aqua Pen 36 set collection there. So you're going to get your nature, you are going to be getting your primary, and you are going to be getting your essentials, which are also in that Aqua starter set as well. So just something for you to keep in mind. $55.17 or $71.88 if you are platinum. However, it's going to come down to $44.14 or $57.50. Or, as I've not really mentioned as well throughout this show, if that's going to be your first order after joining Club Inspire, where you get 20% off your first order, you'll get that for that platinum price as well, which is a win-win for sure. And then you're going to get your double points, aren't you? Tess on YouTube is saying, I just did the resist with the bumblebee stamp that I used gold embossing powder. He turned out so cute. I bet he did. Eleanor's saying, that's such a great deal for all those pens. That was the one that we showed previously. Anne is saying, have you told who's won the golden tickets yet? Not yet. We will tell you, myself and Debbie will tell you. We've just been literally within the last, what was that, 10 seconds, Nicola's just said. She's just been told 7 o'clock here in the UK. So that's going to be 2 p.m. Eastern time or 11 a.m. Pacific time. Myself and Debbie, we will announce the 5 lucky winners of that golden ticket. And then essentially what that means is 5 lucky winners are going to win their order from yesterday. So that's going to be coming up in Craft Vault later on. Miriam saying, love this technique, colouring on the stamp. I love it too. I really want to go home and do that now. Joanna saying, all these tips are why I just love Colour Me Happy. Well, if you didn't already know by now, certainly when it goes into the weekend, not this weekend, but the following weekend, we're going back into our 3 2-hour shows on a Saturday and a Sunday. So 7 days a week, we're going to be live 3 times a day for 2 hours. So if you're going to be seeing a Colour Me Happy popping up over the weekend, you know it's going to be 2 hours. Masterclass, it's going to be 2 hours. The craft alongs tend to stick at round about 2 hours as it is currently. You don't need to worry about that. Not this weekend, but from next week onwards, continuously. The weekends are going back to 2-hour shows. So that is something that I know many of you are absolutely loving. Chantel saying, question for Craig, what can you use to clean the ink off your 12x12 purple stamping mat? So what I use, and I'm trying to use them a lot less, is baby wipes. Trying to use them a lot less. If I am using them, I still continue to use them after they're dry. So I'll spritz them with water and reuse them, or a damp cloth, something like that. Just take away. You'll take a little bit of the colour off your purple stamping mat, very slight colour, but it's not going to affect any future stamping. That's what I do. Jean is saying, Craig, I'm not sure what pen it was Debbie used to colour in the rose. Clear question mark. So it was the Clear Sparkle Overlay. Unfortunately, we did have them on the show today and they've sold out. So they were the Clear Sparkle Overlay. Maybe you've got one, you just didn't catch that's what Debbie was using. If not, keep an eye on the website. Put your details in, of course, your email address, and you'll be notified when they are back in stock. Miriam is saying, that is such a great Leanne bag. I have all these items. I'm a dedicated CC fan. Lol. Well, there you go. You'll be able to play with all these way ahead of everyone else. And Miriam is also saying these would make great flowers cut out from that background Debbie did. Oh, yes. Think about all the flowers that you can then start to cut, decorate your cards and projects with the backgrounds. Eleanor, what did Craig just say about the shows? The weekend shows. Not this weekend, but from next weekend onwards, every show's going back to 2 hours. So that's 7 days a week, 3 live shows a day. All of them are going to be 2 hours, with that exception of maybe like a 3-hour cartload, etc., etc. So that's what's going to be happening. Right, Teo, we're going to give you an opportunity to go and check out your baskets. We don't need to do demo of the show within this show. So basically, Debbie's demo from, of course, Wake Up Call is going to go straight into, well, I'm going to say demo of the day, I would have thought. However, that gives us that little bit extra time for Debbie to show you more. So while we just get things sorted here, go and check out the numbers that we've got left. We'll be back just in a minute or two.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
Come on, that was really funny, Ben. You did.
It was better than your I'm a no and I live in a caravan.
I am a gnome and I live in a caravan.
Can we clip that? We'll do it. Everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
You entertain us. You give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV. Create every day.
Robinson, and I am having an absolutely fantastic time up here working for Crafters Companion. So my crafting journey began back in, I have to get this the right way around, 2001. I went to a craft workshop just at a craft store, and I was absolutely hooked. My mum convinced me to go because she wanted to go, and I've not looked back since 2001, and I'm still going now. My crafty inspirations are, I have to be inspired by my grandmother. She was an amazing sewer, and I just love to take inspiration from her. I can't sew, but I am blown away by what she used to do. But I just am inspired by all my colleagues around me, the other experts. I've just done a show today where we have third parties in, and I just love watching them and take little bits from them and then put my own twist on it. What's it like having crafty colleagues? It's fantastic. We are an amazing team. The support from Crafters Companion is brilliant. I have loved it. As you know, I've not been here overly long, but the team have opened their arms and welcomed me so fantastically. And I love watching the shows because a lot of the tips and techniques that you'll see me do in my shows, I picked up from my colleagues by watching their shows.
What non-craft fact can I share with you? I have my pride and joy at the moment is my gorgeous little Cavapoo dog. I absolutely love her. Miss her like mad when I come up here. Elsie's at home with my husband. What is my biggest crafting success? Oh, I just think it was the day I was able to give up a 9-to-5 job and be able to come and be a craft demonstrator full time. And then the excitement when I came to join this team was amazing. I just think that has to be up there at the top for me.
I think Mary Pat 1000 is saying what everyone is saying, including us as well, going, way, the 2-hour shows are back at the weekend. Absolutely, yeah, so many people really happy about that one as well. I believe as well, you know, you're still going to see things like first looks and that. We're not going to take anything like that away. We'll maybe sneak them in every now and again, but the shows will still all be 2-hour shows going forward. So yeah, that's going to be a really good one. So it's kind of, well, so it's kind of a sad one this weekend for George and Debbie and the team that are in. Not really. They'd probably wish it was next weekend when they get to do the full 2 hours as well. But yes, rightio, we are all good with comments and questions. Debbie, are you ready? Will I come back to you?
Yeah, because I wanted to cover again as well before I moved on to another technique about the difference why you need the right ink pad.
Oh my God, please do, yeah.
Yeah, because we did cover it this morning, but I'm not sure that everybody saw that. So I will talk about the reasons why and why we've put it in the starter kit, which is why you're going to need, when you're using Aqua markers, this ink pad.
Okay.
Because that's the one you want. Yes, it gives you a clear indication. And I've said this before, many a time we used to get asked, what's the right ink pad, Debbie, when you just come into store? Which one do I need for the water? Which one do I need for the alcohol? And then I had a chart that I used to refer to because I never knew which was solvent-based, which were oil-based, which were this, which were that, which would work. And it's literally, it's made it simplified in terms of the ink pads. The picture's there. The alcohol proof or the waterproof, and there's a reason why you choose that one when it comes to our colouring with Aqua pens, Aqua markers, tricolours, glitter pens, glitter markers, and I'm just going to show you what I did this morning just so you can see this as to why you use the right one. So I am going to take my stamping platform and I am going to stamp directly into the image. So let's go in and let's just bring this in before I move on to a couple of other little quick techniques, because I want it to be a visual that you understand and see why we use the right ink pad. So coming in with the watercolour, so I'm going to just cover that stamp all over, and then I'm going to come in and I'm going to stamp my image over the watercolour cardstock. So it's a premium watercolour cardstock, and it's the waterproof ink pad that we're going to. And I'm going to bring in some of my water and throw that straight down onto the image. Now I'm going to make sure I'm careful here because I've got some dirty hands. So I'm just going to come in and I'm going to rub so that you see straight away we claim that it is non-smear with watercolour. And that just shows you straight away nothing's moving, and I'm rubbing that water right in, nothing's moving. So you can be confident that when you use a water-based marker there's going to be no bleeding, no smearing, because with the image it's not going to interfere with the image because it's the right ink pad. And I just wanted to show you this morning, so I want to show you again. I'm just going to give this a quick clean because it has got our waterproof, and I would normally use my stamp cleaning tool, but I just want to show you now why we do not use the alcohol proof with our water. So I'm going to come in.
If you didn't see this on Wake Up Call, this is going to blow your mind.
So this is the alcohol. Clearly states it on the front. Perfect for all your alcohol mediums. What it's not perfect for is any watercolour medium. So I'm stamping that same image on the same cardstock, this time though with the different ink pad. And then I'm just going to do exactly the same where I throw some water down onto the image. Let me get my clean hand, and then just show you why we do not use the alcohol. Oh, you can see it straight away.
Yeah,
it's already starting to move and smear and also fade because the brown is interfering and it's coming out and spreading out because it's reacted with water. You can start to see the bleeding happening all around here, and this pool of colour, which you don't get, and I'm just going to dab that off because I've got that much on there, Craig. I got a little bit mad with the water, Debbie, you silly Billy. But visual. Clear, non-smear. It's gone a little bit messy because it's not the right ink pad for anything with water. And in terms of that clear imagery, you don't get that. I'm going to show you the dried ones from this morning, if I may, because they are wet through. I think I went a bit OTT, Craig, a bit OTT. But dried up, that's the that's the waterproof that you use with your aqua markers. But look what happened when it dried. With the alcohol proof, it looked fine this morning. It looked actually like the other one I've just shown you. But when it dries, that's what happens. I haven't added anything to it. It's how, and it's a good visual in why you need the right ink pad for the right medium. Anything with water, you don't want that to happen, so you are going to use the waterproof. And that's the reason why I just wanted to repeat that very quickly before I moved on to another quick couple of little techniques.
Could you imagine, Debbie, if you had stamped in with that alcohol proof, and then say you went in with your, I think like canary yellow aqua pen, and you start to draw that out with your water brush, that's going to be dirty and muddy because that's going to be that dark outline in with that yellow.
Absolutely.
You don't want that.
Yeah. So that's one of it's like I always say, I like to visually learn. So I can be told, don't use that, don't use that, don't use it. Well, why?
Why? Yeah.
Why? I've just given you the why. That's why. That is not what you want in any of your water mediums or your water-soluble aquas, your tricolours, your glitter pens, anything that's got a water-based dye ink in it. You do not want to be using the wrong ink pad. That's the alcohol. That's the results you'll end up getting. The ones you want is the one that doesn't smear. So that is why, visually, for me, I have to see it. If I see it, I think, oh, yep, that's the reason why. And it wasn't the gimmick that I thought it was. Way back when, I'm thinking, they're after me money again. They want me to spend me money. Why do I need the right water? You know, why do I need watercolour cardstock? Why do I need... And I often thought, you know, I used to think I was rubbish at stamping, rubbish at colouring with water.
But that's what it was.
And it's because I got the wrong tools.
Yeah.
If you get the right tools, job's a good one.
Isn't it? It's true what they say, the right tools for the right job.
Make a fresh out of anybody.
And that's one, although, because I'd never actually seen it done. I've heard it been verbally talked about before, but I'd never seen it being done. And I said to Debbie, going forward, you know, whether it's here when I'm on that side, hobby maker or that, if I ever have the opportunity or I need to explain the difference, I am absolutely doing that one for sure, because visually that is then that perfect way of showing it, the difference between the two of them. Right, just giving Debbie a little moment, because with the stamps there that she used, so that one is actually from the starter kit that we showed. However, what we do have here is we have that full set of the Natural Beauty stamps if you want to get your hands on them. So when it comes to all of these ones here, you got Little Darling, you got Wee Little Darling, you've got Timeless Parades, you've also then got your Tumbling Waves and Florals, you've then also got your Eternal Beauty, and then you have also got your Effortless Chic. Now, I'm just wanting to double check. I'm going to correct myself on that one, because that is the 5 that you are getting. That does not include the one that is in that Aqua stamp starter set. So if you go for that starter set and you go for these, that stamp will actually complement that full collection. So you don't get that one in there like I thought. That was my mistake. So that one, $29.96 or $37.31 with a saving of 25%. But if you're platinum, it's going to come down to whatever that last price was a moment ago before our screen changed there. There we go, $23.97 or $29.85, including your double points as well. Next slide, please. Thank you, Jamie. Stamp and Die collection. Now, it does say stamp and dies, and that is because, now you're not going to see the actual dies on these boards here, but I'll just very quickly explain where the dies come into form. All of these are what you're going to be getting for £30 or $40, with a platinum price of £24 or $32, and of course you're going to be getting your double points. You've got your florals, you've got the cats, you've got Have a Lovely Day, then you've got your A Hoot. Now, the lovely, talented Sarah Kay is on her team here. She designed these ones. Now, when it comes from You're a Hoot, Believe in Yourself, and also Welcome to the World, all three of these are going to come with a die that you're actually able to die cut a certain area of the stamped image. So you can raise it up, you can then add them with your glue gel or your foam pads if you want, or you don't need to use the die at all if you don't want to. So you get the stamps, and you're also going to be getting the main image stamp as well, but then that last three that I just showed you there, you are going to be getting your die as well, so that's going to enable them to die cut out if you so wish. But you're getting these ones as well. So a couple of these ones are the ones that Debbie's been using throughout Colour Me Happy. So all of that, £30, $40 or £24 or $32. Just to say it as well, in case you wonder, why is he not showing that one? No, you get that, don't you? That's actually just the board for the actual stamp that we showed you a moment ago. So I'm not outdoing you by a stamp set. That is actually the one that you're going to be getting as well. So £24 platinum or $32 for you guys stateside with your double points. Right, Debbie, all over to you.
Well, I've shown you a few things now. So I think I've tried to cover quite a lot in terms of education, in terms of being able to make washes with your pens and for bleaching techniques, which you can do. So if I just show you this. Thank you. And then I've shown you how, of course, your pens work in terms of mixing colours, adding little vintage colours in there, different types of washes, that's your vintage colour, stamping with it, doing your arty-farty kind of techniques depending on which way you want to do it. Glycerin, I've just chopped off that other end, so I'm going to use that for some flowers, but that's the glycerin effect. That's that wet into wet technique using a clear embossed image. And again, lots of other things that you can do with them as well. So things like your salt background techniques as well. And I've just popped in my craft mat because I'm going to show you some other little things with the waste. But I am going to spritz this first. Watercolour cardstock. I'm just going to spritz with lots of water. Now, of course, with inks, liquid inks, you can go straight in, but you can't do that with your pen. So we're going to just create a little bit of a wash. Now I'm going to make sure I haven't got any of that water, which will interfere with my brush because I do not want to ruin my brush.
Not at all.
But what I want to do is get this colour onto my craft mat. Now you can see this is even more of a non-porous because it literally is got such a coating on it that it almost looks like it's disappeared.
It is, it's like magic. It's
yeah,
gone,
but it
it's
hasn't. I
disappeared.
promise you it's not. So I'm going to go in and you can see straight away activating with your water, and we'll create a nice deep wash. And I'm going to go in with the red, and it is like a reddy tone this, and then I'm going to go in with the blue. I'm not going to worry too much if I've got like blue and purple because I like the mixture of the two colours.
Yeah.
In fact, I like them so much I'm going to add and not waste anything. Now, the darker the colour again is the more of the effect you get. Now, salt technique is still quite wet, but I just want to make sure it's nice and wet. And I'm going to chuck down some rock salt that our gorgeous Nicola found for me. Now, you can do it with any kind of salt.
Right.
Rock salt's a good one because it's big, chunky bits of salt. And if you just pop that on and spread that around, and I'm just going to give it another spritz with some water. And what will happen now with the salt and the texture of the salt into the grains of those salts, the big chunky salts, you get it to spread, it kind of spreads out. Now, I've done one very quickly. I'm just going to move this one side because that needs to dry off and you'll start to see the effect. But I'm just going to bring in one that I did just in that break we just did, Craig, and I can already see it moving. And it's still not dry, but can you see this is what happens? You leave it a little bit, so that bit there needs to work, and it needs to work its magic. But where the salt's landed, it's like spreads it all out. There's still bits left on there that's still wet. So I'm going to leave it, but you can already start to see it working. And you create some really lovely backgrounds with your salt technique. So again, I'm just going to put those to one side, Craig, because they need just to dry off that little bit. They need that little bit of time.
Just rub them off once they're dry?
Yeah, just rub that off, and you've got that salt. But also, we talked about your waste. So if you're going to do waste, let's just pop a little bit, just again, onto here. Let's scribble lots of different colours. Shall we go in with lots of difference? I'm going to use my tricolours because it's easier and handier to have. And I've got lots of colours to choose from as well.
Honestly, this 2 hours has been absolutely epic. Even Rachel's saying, how's there only 6 minutes left? Well, less than that now.
I know, yeah. And literally, you've got a little bit of water there, so I'm just going to give it a little bit of an activation because I want it to bubble up a little bit. But you can then go in and do your, you know, your slush or swoosh technique, where you can pick up your inks and you can literally get some really fabulous backgrounds. And again, if I spritz a bit more, I've still got more colour on there. I can still pick up and like. You can almost hear it, but you can get a different effect. Now, that kind of effect you wouldn't get on your glass mat because it doesn't pool as much on your glass mat.
It doesn't,
You'll get
does
a
it?
really
No.
lovely effect, but my personal favourite when I'm doing this is to simply go in and create some beautiful backgrounds. I can still add, if I wanted to do a little bit more. I mean, look at that gorgeous background straight away. There's still more on here, Craig, so let's grab another piece.
Keep going, yeah.
Let's just add a couple of other colours, although I'm being careful. Being careful where I put my colour.
And it's going to be different every time,
Every single
isn't it?
time, yeah. And just activate it with your spritzer. Use your spritzers. Have fun. There's no right or wrong way with these. You don't have to spritz it and swish it and swoosh it around and create. But what you're doing is you're not wasting a single bit of that ink. This is a fabulous ink that I want you to get the most out of. You've seen the colouring techniques. I've still got a lot left on there. 2 different effects. More prominent because it was the first generation ink, a little less prominent with a second generation ink. But again, you can see that effect that it creates. And again, Craig, I'm just going to go in and add a bit more texture that you get the difference with the craft mat than you would with a glass mat. But I hope today's show, I must cram that in at the very last minute, to show you why I can fill 2 hours and I haven't made anything. Why I can fill 2 hours talking about our fabulous Aqua pens from Spectrum Noir, whether it be the Aqua pen, whether it be the Tricolour Aqua. Why I've taken 2 hours. I've shown you lots of different things you can do with them. I hope that if you've got them and you've seen these kind of shows before, I've invigorated your little bit of a mojo going. And I hope it's the first time you've seen them, that you're not scared of them, that you know why they're so versatile, why we all talk, it's not just me, ask any one of our experts, why we all love our Aqua markers and why you definitely need to try them. If you've not tried one before, get that starter kit. Have a little dabble, have a try at some of these techniques. You get the same ones, just different colours.
Definitely.
But you are going to be able to do all the things that I've shown you today with that set if you've never tried it before. So Craig, I think I'm off for a lie down.
Debbie, this is where, if you had a microphone, you would be doing mic drop. That was
I can do one.
absolute, go for it. Pen drop. That was absolutely off the chain, that 2 hours. Now, if you team that 2 hours with that hour and a bit within Wake Up Call, phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Nothing more that I can say other than if you've loved this show, which I know you have done by your comments, make sure you save this to your playlist across on YouTube so you can go back time and time and time again to follow along with what Debbie's just been showing you. Right, we're going to be back in a couple of hours. If you are watching live, it's 5 golden tickets. 5 of you are going to win your order from yesterday. Don't miss it. Have a lovely couple of hours break, get your tea, get your lunch, get your breakfast, get whatever it is, and all of us will be back in a couple of hours for Friday Night Craft Vault.